Greetings, Geechlings, Geechin Prime here with another One Piece discussion video where we talk about the Straw Hats and their potential power-ups. And today we're doing, I wish I had a slingshot, but Usopp, the sniper of the Straw Hats. And, he's only really known as, well, he's a coward, so, coward of the Straw Hats. Not as much as he used to be, but, you know, there's still, especially during, Dressrosa, he had a big bout of it. But anyway, as I start off all these videos, we talk about the hockey first. And as we know, Usopp already has observation hockey. So seeing him master it is a likely outcome. But also, given how some of the other Straw Hats have multiple forms of hockey, considering he already has this, seeing him further down the line gaining armament is not out of the question, you know. I mean, like any of them, you know, if they want to learn it, they can learn it. But, other than that, which I have some ideas of how armament hockey might be able to be used, but I'll get to that in a second. But for like some general like attacks and tactics and whatnot, using his pop greens, he can crossbreed, and through select breeding and splicing of various plants, he could create new species of pop greens, such as the human drake landmines. Basically, it is a human drake that has explosive properties of the skull bomb grass. Both ones that he already has. Just crossbreed those puppies, and when they're stepped on, they either explode like a landmine, or if, say, a target gets close enough, they leech onto them, exploding in their face or wherever they land onto. Next up, we have the burst shuriken, a variety of the Platanus shuriken, which is basically like a sharp grass kind of shuriken, mixed with, yet again, the skull bomb grass. It makes an exploding shuriken, plain and simple, which is awesome for anybody to have. Next, which this one is probably one of my favorites that I came up with, is the Stink Impact Wolf. The Impact Wolf, you know, is a giant, like, plant wolf that has a concussive bulb on its nose. When it makes impact, it, like, sends out a shock wave. Like all of these we saw during Fishman Island. Well, with the, I may butcher this, Rafflesia, which is a really stinky flower. Think Vileplume. Having multiple ones of those growing on its back and everything, the stink like starts knocking people out and making them frantically run around distracted and whatnot, making them easy targets. But then like the wolf itself is charging towards the strong opponent that he's fighting, so you have the stink to take out the cannon fodder and the wolf to take out the main bad guy that Usopp just happens to be fighting. Anyway, some new species of pop greens. We have the tree hammer. Basically just a like selective breeding of a tree that, you know, a little tree that grows into a hammer. This is inspired by Usopp's hammer techniques that he's used in the past, like Usopp Pound, the like 5-ton hammer. Most of those were gag techniques for psychological warfare, but this, given that Usopp has like a stronger body and a bit more confidence and whatnot, he could probably attack on his own with some force. Next up on the docket, we have a petal shield. Basically, he grows like a rose-like kind of thing. It opens up full bloom, he jumps inside, and it closes. And then it has all the multi-layered petals protecting him from an incoming attack. And, you know, you use armament with that, and it could almost be like a bomb shelter for him. And depending on how big it is, it could hold more than one person. But presumably just one for simplicity's sake. Next is an upgraded attack based on a move that he used a while back. It was a bit situational, so this move is good for all situations. The cactus grenades. It's an upgraded form of the exploding cactus star. I don't remember exactly when he used it, but obviously I imagine it would have had to have been pretty close to the Alabasta arc. And where he would like explode a cactus and the needles would go everywhere. Well, with this, you know those little ball cactuses that you normally have like in your window or whatever, you know, in a pot? Imagine a few of those coming at you. And once they form in midair, as pop greens, develop very quickly. And you get a few cacti coming at you midair, and then they shortly explode, spraying needles everywhere. Kind of in the way, well, not really, but Togomon from Digimon. Needle spray. Next up, we have, yet again, another upgraded inspirational move. Thorn Caltrops. We've seen Usopp use Caltrops a few times in the series, and while I don't think he's used them recently, this could be developed into his current plant-based fighting style. Use thorns. I'm sure he could craft a plant that does, that could develop thorns in the shape of a caltrop, or just thorns in general. All you need is like 2 or 3 of them, and there you go. You got a caltrop. And I mean, anybody that's been stuck with a thorn, I think it's gonna hurt. And I'm sure some of the plants in the One Piece world probably have very durable thorns that could probably pierce through a shoe. Anyway, next up we have a modified plant, which is based on the devil, the giant Venus flytraps that he has. This, I couldn't really come up with a good name, so I just called it the Lesser Devil. It's genetically modified to become less aggressive and follow simple commands, kind of like a dog. So I envision this like, okay, say like part of the crew or the ship like was on like by a cliff or something, and then like a rock slide landed on them, and Usopp's like, oh no, I gotta go save everybody, but I can't pick up those boulders. Use the Lesser Devil, and it's like, okay, go pick up those things, and it'll go grab the boulders, and you have multiple of these things, and it'll just take all the boulders away. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, but for the like cactus grenades and the caltrops and everything, with his pop greens, everything's more efficient than it ever used to be, because he can essentially have an infinite supply of whatever he needs and carry quite a supply, or a heavy supply, with him at most of the time. So all of his fighting style has never become more efficient than it has now. But kind of the final idea, and there's probably way more ideas I could have come up with, but maybe a part 2 video, is the Trampolia hop. I think I pronounced that right. Please pardon some of the pronunciations. I've never heard these words pronounced, so good use to watch the anime again, I guess. But anyway, it's an upgraded form of Usopp hop, which was those spring shoes. I don't even remember when he used them. I think he only did it like once, and it was more of a gag. But basically 2 small versions of the Trampolia that grows on the soles of someone's shoe, and this can be used for an attack or a utility move that allows improved jumping. So if you use it as an attack, say they sprout on the ground or grow underneath someone's foot, and then they start bouncing away, and then they can't control their bouncing, and Usopp, judges the shot and then hits them. And then for his own capabilities and for other people, he can then use it as a utility to, like get to high places, save people, that kind of thing. But yeah, that was most of my ideas. Like I said, I could easily do probably a part 2 at some point, depending on what people enjoy this or not. But let me know your own ideas and how you enjoyed this video, and But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at KeishanPrime, and I'll see you next time. Keishlings, roll out.